Hello, my name is Tara McMillan, and I am going to talk today about the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, and that is something that we do not know, or we did not know a lot about when Isaac was vaccine injured, because it took us a long time to find out that he was vaccine injured, even though he has an extensive medical record that shows he has vaccine injury. There were not any doctors willing to come forward on our behalf, on Isaac's behalf, and publicly document and speak out that he was indeed vaccine injured. We went to military hospital for Isaac when he was born, when he was a baby, and even when he was vaccine injured. The extensive trail shows after every vaccine he received at 2 months and 4 months of age, and then at 17 months of age, that he was sick after every one of them. Doctors do not know, or they do not care that children are injured. They do not associate injury with an illness in the ER within a week or two, or even a month, because delayed reactions are very common, especially among children and babies. They do not connect the dots, or they ignore the fact that vaccines can cause autism. I just wanted to tell about what happened to Isaac when he was a baby, and in hopes that someone watching today will see the signs, they will see the patterns. After every vaccination, within a week or two, are you back in the hospital with your son in the emergency room, or your daughter, because they're sick with something, just out of the blue? Sickness is not a common childhood thing. Sure, they can pass around germs, but if you have been vaccinated recently and they are sick, if they have been vaccinated recently and they are sick now, that's a vaccine reaction. And everyone needs to be aware so they can protect themselves and to stop the vaccines, because once you've had a vaccine reaction, you do not need to get any more of the vaccines, because they're just going to burden your body more and more until finally it can't handle it anymore and break. And that's exactly what happened to Isaac. 2 months of age. Well, he had to receive hepatitis B in the hospital when he was 2 days old. 2 months of age, he received another hepatitis B and some more vaccines. 4 months of age, the same thing. He was sick after every shot, every vaccination. He received 2 or 3, and it's not uncommon now. They usually give 5. So 2 months and 4 months, he was in the emergency room within a couple of weeks after every vaccine, and no one connected the dots, not even me, because I had no idea. I just wanted my son to get better. I didn't want him to be sick. So, at 6 months of age, he stopped nursing, and I did not know that this was a vaccine reaction. He didn't receive any more vaccine after he was 6 months of age, because we moved. So when he was 17 months of age, we went ahead and got the 12-month shots and the 15 to 18 month shots together, all in one visit. It was a total of 10 vaccines, 7 shots. And I didn't know that it was dangerous. No one mentioned a risk to me. No one told me that this is not the way to go, this is not something that you should do. And so he received that many that day. Within a month, his brain had swelled up, and it really just looked like he had hydrocephalus. But he was delayed, and he was always delayed because of all the vaccines. He was delayed in his talking, but he did talk. He was delayed in his walking. He was delayed in all of his milestones. So they called it Chiari malformation when they did an MRI. Couldn't figure out why his head was so big. He wasn't having seizures, and he wasn't dead, thankfully. But we just had no idea. Chiari malformation is something we're born with. So in a year and a half after that diagnosis, we did a scan, and it said he never had Chiari. That's when I started going back in his medical record and looking at everything that had happened. At the same time, I was reading this book called Evidence of Harm. And it talks about how one mom and her husband go back in their son's medical record and they look and see how much mercury is injected into their son by way of flu shot. I went back and I looked in Isaac's medical record. And I said, this is what happened to him. And it was almost unbelievable that I was reading this book and the same thing had happened to my son. And how did I not know? And how did I let him get so many vaccines at one time? I wasn't properly educated. And there's no one there to help now. So, if you're thinking about vaccines, seriously consider who's going to be there to help when your child has autism. I would much rather let my child, develop some kind of rash, measles, chickenpox, something like that, than to have him have autism.